Happy holidays from all of us at the Kim Commando Show and Kim Commando Today. This is a replay of Kim Commando Today. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next year.
I always like to start with something interesting, and a new study has found that married couples who met on dating apps have a higher chance of getting a divorce. The study is called Relative Strangers, the Importance of Social Capital for Marriage. And what it found is that 12% of couples who found their significant other online, they got divorced within the first 3 years of marriage, compared with only 2% who met through friends. So much for love at first swipe. And speaking of dating apps, well, there's a new app for hair-challenged people that's completely free. It's called Bald Dating. And it's hard to believe, but you don't have to pay. Get it? Oh, I know that was a bad one. Hey, welcome. Yes, it's another hour of the Kim Commando Show. It's your source for all things digital, your most trusted source. It's the biggest show. I'm, of course, America's digital pro, Kim Commando, here with you. And you can find us on over 420 top stations from coast to coast. And, of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Commando. And you can find us streaming as a podcast, as a webcast, all 3 hours commercial free. We got a couple of months of archives there, too, in case you ever miss anything. That's over at getkim.com. And a special thank you goes out to our servicemen and women in the Army, the Marines, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, and Space Force who are protecting our great nation and listening to us on the American Forces Network Radio. Hello, everyone there. And our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All right, I scour the news and the sites and the websites, and I talk to my friends and industry insiders to always bring you up to date. And I'd like to talk about this part of the show, the 5 things that you need to know about consumer tech. Keep you up to date, maybe some cool tech facts, make a difference what you buy, how you use your devices, and what you spend your money on. And spending your money is exactly what this tech trade show that's taking place right now in Berlin was all about. It's called IFA 2022. Get this, more than 1,000 exhibitors from over 30 countries. They present their products to retailers and buyers, and all the big names are there, well, with the exception of Apple, because Apple likes to do their own announcing, and they're going to do that on September 7th. So let's take a look at some of the products that are going to be making their way to store shelves and online shops soon. And we're going to start with Samsung. Samsung has a new smart toilet. It does what a regular smart toilet does, but this one is different. The toilet features what they're calling heat treatment and bioprocessing technologies. What do you think that does? It kills the pathogens in human waste. So essentially, number 1 and number 2 is going to be number 0, as the technology will get rid of all the bad stuff. You know what I mean. And what tech trade show is not it without some big TV? And LG is rolling out their 97-inch new screen. And they say it has perfect blacks, which is always a problem when you're talking about massive TVs. And then LG also came out with something that was really different. It's a gaming monitor, but it's also a TV. Normally you can't have both, but the LG Flex is what it's called. It's a curved gaming monitor. It's nothing new, but the monitor can actually go flat if you just press a button. So that's the big deal. It's a 42-inch screen, 4K, 120 hertz specs. Lenovo's there. They're rolling out their Glasses T1. These are AR glasses that they can connect to a smartphone or PC using a USB-C cable. So this way you have these virtual screens on the glasses. I think it has a good chance of making it because the price point is kind of affordable at $500. All right, so next one is for anyone who exercises at night. Philips is rolling out their new sports headphones. And it uses bone conduction so you can hear. It has a 9-hour battery life, IP66 rating. But the big deal is that these headphones have a red LED strip. I don't know why we didn't think about this sooner. So this way, if you're out running or cycling at night, that you can be seen. All right, sneakers are big business. You got the Nike Dunks, the Air Jordans, Louis Vuitton, Nike Air Force Ones. And the resale prices of these sneakers range from tens of thousands of dollars to just $100. Depends what the maker model is. But so LG has something that they're calling the Styler shoe case. So you picture this. It's like plastic box. You put your sneakers in. It has a built-in Lazy Susan. So it rotates so you can see every angle of your sneakers. And then you can also add the Styler shoe care. You put your sneakers in what looks like a mini fridge. After you take them out of the Lazy Susie box, you put them in a mini fridge. And in about 30 minutes, your sneakers will come out clean and stink-free, they say. All right, that's nice, but sign me up for the DreamBot L10S Ultra. Say that a few times. It's automated, hands-free cleaning, including vacuuming, mopping, automatic dust collection, mop washing, mop drying, water refilling, and cleaning solution adding, all done hands-free by this little gadget. The large dust bags fill up and you replace them every 2 months. So that's pretty nice. Finally, we're getting rosy. Then there's the Carpet One. This has a set and go spot mode. So let's say you have somebody comes over and they spill a glass of wine on the carpet. Then you just call out the Carpet One and it will automatically detect, scrub, and remove stubborn stains all by itself. So no longer do you have to bend down on the floor and manually scrub to clean the carpets or even the upholstery. You can just call out this Carpet One. So I started thinking about this. I'm wondering if you had like two cleaning robots in the house. Would they get jealous of the other? Would you be like, oh, you use the DreamBot more than you use the Carpet One? And then you could say, hey, DreamBot, if you did your job right, the Carpet One wouldn't need to come finish up for you. Yep, they'd probably be fighting. Yep, until one of them just gets floored. All right, let's jump to number 3 because number 1 turned into number 1 and 2. And here at number 3, Apple bent their policy, so it must be really, really bad. Right now, Apple supports security updates and other updates for iPhones 8 and above. That's all they're taking care of. And they've never really had a history of supporting any phones that they say they're not going to do it anymore. But it must have frozen over this past week because Apple pushed out a really important update. This is important if you're using an older iPhone, you can't get past iOS 12, you have to download and install iOS 12.5.6 immediately. It was a big security issue affecting WebKit. So if you have an iPhone 6 Plus, an iPhone 6, an iPhone 5S, iPad Mini 3 or 2, an iPad Air, or an iPod Touch 6th generation, what you need to do is navigate to Settings, General, and do that software update, and make sure that you do it right now while you're thinking about it. Number 4 on our list of things that you need to know is remember when your parents told you not to take candy from strangers, right? But for some reason, it's okay to get in a stranger's car right now. Uber's most recent safety report, which was published, covers 2019 and 2020. They found that 99.9% of trips ended without a reported safety incident. But there were 20 fatalities and a total of 19 physical assault incidents. There were also 3,824 reports of sexual assault compared to 6,000 in 2017 and 2018. Uber says the riders were accused party 43% of the time in sexual assault reports in 2019 and 2020. In July, more than 500 women sued Uber, saying that they were attacked by their drivers. What about 2021? How come we don't have those numbers yet? Just wondering. They must be really bad, or else they would be showcasing them. So anyway, the reason why I bring all this up, if you're taking an Uber, there's a new way to get live help from an ADT safety agent via phone call or text. The agent will monitor the trip, stay in contact with the user throughout the duration of the trip, and if necessary, contact 911 on your behalf. The agent, they say, can also provide authorities the make and model of the vehicle, the license plate number, and the GPS location. So if you get into an Uber and you're not feeling comfortable, make sure you tell all your family members and friends this, is that there's the new safety option that you should be tapping into. And finally, here at number 5, last on our list, we're sorry to interrupt Judge Judy with this emergency alert. It happened this past week. People in LA County and Ventura County were sitting there watching television when the show suddenly went away, and instead this Commodore 64 looking graphic was put on the screen that said, the civil authority has issued an immediate evacuation notice. Wow. Wouldn't that be something? You're sitting there watching TV. Show goes away. And this blue box with red lettering pops up and says, the civil authority has issued an immediate evacuation notice. So what did the people do? They went on to social media, of course, asking, is this legit? What's going on? Should we pack? What do we pack? How do we get out? How do we charge our EVs when the state of California said we can't charge our EVs because we're overwhelming the power grid? What do we do? And what about all the fires? So county reps and sheriff departments, they all got on social media and said, no worries. It was a glitch. It was just a mistake. We We aren't really evacuating anywhere. You can just stay right where you are. Feel sorry for the people who aren't glued to social media. They must have been freaking out. The traffic, the smog. I mean, think about this. And what happens when the smog lifts in Los Angeles? Do you know what happens? What happens when the smog lifts in LA? UCLA. Get it? UCLA, they call it? Yeah, I know. All right, moving on. All right, coming up, we have Brand New or Not True that you definitely don't want to miss. It's America's favorite radio game show sensation, as I like to say. There's a trend happening on Facebook I need to tell you about. We have some keyboard shortcuts that you're going to love. And also later on, how to find hidden spy cameras. And of course, we have all of your phone calls here on the Kim Commando Show. How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim. Hey, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. If you haven't claimed your free Windows or Mac guide, you're missing out. Head over to commando.com/free guides. Once again, that's commando.com/free guides. And there are search tricks, so this way you can find your files and programs in a snap. We have some quick photo editing tips, so you don't need to even download any new programs. Messaging shortcuts. We also going to tell you a way that you can get your text messages right on your computer and respond. We have some handy free downloads for Windows and Mac OS. And again, these are absolutely free. It's our special thank you to you for listening to the show and supporting everything that we do, as well as our advertisers. Head over to commando.com/free guides. That's commando.com/free guides. All right, how about we start this hour with Michael in Memphis, Tennessee. Hello there, Michael.
Hello, Kim. Good to hear from you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. What's going on?
Well, I've been struggling with, I'm a news addict. And what I do every morning is get a cup of coffee and sit down in my sunroom and just start going from my app on my iPhone and just go into the news. And, there's a lot of articles and then there's side articles and everything. So it keeps me entertained for hours. But then when I finally got up to go do something else, I want to go back to the beginning of the news. And I have to hit up the top left of my iPhone where the time is. And there's usually an arrow to go back, and it's one page at a time. So I'm constantly clicking the top left to get back, one page at a time to get all the way back to the beginning. Is there a quick keystroke or anything else that I can do that takes me back immediately to the front?
Boy, isn't that interesting, though? And I'm guilty of that, too. I will tell you, Michael, that you read something, you're like, oh, what about this? Oh, what about that? And then you're like, okay. Then it's like, whoa, where did the time go? Okay, I guess I better get off my butt and do something. So there's a quick setting that you can change in your Safari. Let me just tell you about it, and then we will actually send you the links. So this way you can follow the steps. But what you're going to do is in your iPhone settings, you're going to go into Safari, and then there's an option under tabs that says open links, and you want to have them open in the background. And so this way you always have your start page open, and it will always stay in its own tab. Now, when you find, here's another quick tip. When you find wherever that tab is that you started from, correct? Is that
Right.
there's a keystroke that you're going to love. And it works different on your phone. On your phone, there's 3 dots on the menu. But if you just, off of there's an option that says close all tabs. So you don't have to close each one by one. So you can just close all the tabs. Now, if you're ever on doing this, say, on your desktop computer or on your MacBook or whatever it is that's where you want to remember the three-finger salute. No, it's not Control-Alt-Delete. That's on your Windows. If you hit Option, Command, and W, Option, Command, and W, that will close all other tabs in your Safari other than the one that you're just looking at right now, which, by the way, Command W is fabulous to remember because this way it will just close that particular tab or that particular window, whatever you have. So, and by the way, if you're on Windows instead of Command, it's always Control, and that's always the big difference. So, again, on your iPhone, we're going to go to Safari. We're going to put those links. We're going to choose to open them in the background, and then to close all the other tabs on your phone, just hit those three-dot menu, and then if you're on a MacBook or if you're on a desktop, whatever it is, it's going to be Option Command W. That closes all the tabs in the Safari other than the one that you're just looking at. All right, there's a new Facebook trend that's a post that says, I'm taking a break from Facebook to be in the real world. That's what I'm doing. If you need me, text or call. I won't be checking anything on here for a while. Well, here are some Facebook break tips. After you leave the I'm taking the break message on your account, what you want to do is remove the Facebook app on your phone. Now, this is also a pro tip to get back a ton of storage space on your phone. Now, once you reinstall the app and you sign in, Facebook will look and act just like before, but without hogging all that space. Next, if you don't have the willpower to stay away from Facebook, I get that on your own. What you want to do is deactivate your account during the break. Now, this is different from deleting your account. You're not deleting your account, you're just deactivating it. Deactivation essentially just puts your account into hold, this suspended animation. If you need any of these steps on how to do it, just search for Facebook Break over at Commando.com. Once again, that's Facebook Break over at Commando.com. All right, still to come, we have brand new or not true, which you don't want to miss. We had our digital life hack that is incredible. And of course, you have more of me, Kim Commando.
Since our founding in 2000, we at the Center for Internet Security have always had one mission. It's to create confidence in the connected world for people, businesses, and governments. As a nonprofit, we do this by drawing upon our core competencies of collaboration and innovation. The world is changing, cyber threats are evolving, and IT resources are limited. All you want is a way to strengthen your cybersecurity programs efficiently and effectively. Let CIS help you with these efforts. We use a consensus-based process involving IT professionals from around the world to develop and maintain security best practices. These resources are proven to defend systems and data against threats, both on premises and in the cloud. We also strive to help organizations of every size and maturity strengthen their cybersecurity programs. This includes serving U.S. state, local, tribal, and territorial government organizations. At CIS, we're all about making the connected world a safer place. Visit our website to learn more.
All right, it is time for Brand New or Not True. It's America's national radio game show sensation where you can play along and guess, is it brand new or not true? Because every week, it seems like thousands of new gadgets are just released into the wild, and some are great, and some are, well, pretty crappy. Now, when playing Brand New or Not True, I present you, the home listener, along with a very special guest contestant, 3 gadgets in the tech world. Now, 2 are fake, 1 is completely true. I make up the fake ones. Now, you'll notice no product names are given. That's because, well, some people, cheat, and we don't like them. So we don't give any product names until the very end. And a fanny pack, yes, that's the much coveted Kim Commando Show fanny pack is the prize for our very special guest contestant. And this week, playing along is James in Charlotte, South Carolina. Hi there, James.
Hey, Kim. Great. I'm doing good. A couple thank yous real quick. You sent out a quick tip last week in an email, and I still really don't know how to sign a PDF, and I always did it like the 2-year-old with my mouse, and now I think that's corrected. And then
yes.
I love the podcast. I know Allie, she's no longer the content queen. She's a content princess now, if I'm not mistaken. And the millennial Matt. Love the podcast. Love to listen to you guys.
Oh, well, thank you. We really appreciate that. All of us work really hard. What do you do there in Charlotte?
I'm a florist.
Are you?
Lifelong
That's
florist.
fabulous.
Yeah. I grew up
That's
in the
great.
business, and then my wife and I bought the business about 25 years ago.
Oh, that's amazing. That's awesome. All right, so I think you're going to do really well on Brand New or Not True. So remember now, 2 products are fake. and one is real. It's up to you to figure out which is the fake, which is the real product, okay? So let's get started with product number one. Now, if you look at our phones, Jim, our phones are pretty much rectangular, right? Nothing new in terms of shape, and it's time for a change. So now we have the new Circle phone, a phone that's in the shape of a circle. It fits in the palm of your hand. And because it's shaped like a circle, it's better at doing certain things like take video calls. When the phone's in a circle, you see the person's entire face. Maps are better when you're in the center of a circle. You know exactly where you're going. The phone is using open source operating system, but it has some impressive specs. It has 3 cameras. It has a special selfie camera, GPS, dual USB ports. It's kind of older. Accelerometer, gyroscope, temperature sensor. And then it folds up to be a ball when you're done using it, too, if you want that. Just remember, because the phone is a circle doesn't mean that it's pointless. $999. Okay. Did you ever play ping pong?
Sure.
Okay, well, we have ping pong, table tennis, but what if there's no table tennis players around? Well, thanks to robotics, movable cameras, AI, and a special projection screen, now you can. So picture a ping pong table. So what you're going to do is attach a robot to the table's edge using a patented clip. The robots can deliver any spin type. Then you attach a screen to the table's legs too, and stands 18 inches away from the table. Comes with an Android tablet, the 21 pre-saved drills. You can also randomize shots. But that screen, position your phone from the floor and you can show a person's face and torso. So you can play table tennis with anyone's picture off the internet, as long as the resolution size is correct. So you could play against the president. You could play against the queen or Meghan Markle or some hot supermodel, whoever it is. And you're going to burn up to burn up to 400 calories an hour, but it's going to cost you $2,063. And finally, product number 3. Do you ever try to have a conversation, Jim, with someone who speaks a different language? It's tough, right?
Oh, yeah. It's very hard.
Okay, not anymore, because now we have a handheld translator about the size of your hand, translates up to 82 languages and dialects. So you can have a complete conversation with someone else. So here's what happens. You speak English, it translates it to another language, then they speak their language, and then it translates it back to English all in real time. You can also use it to read signs, menus, written text in a snap. It has a large touchscreen display, has a camera. It works anywhere. It comes with a free 2-year LTE cellular data plan. Usage, they say, in 130 countries. But you have to note the internet's needed for translation, so it's not going to work offline. I tried this out myself, and I asked, how do you spell bra in German? Or how do you say bra in German, rather? How do you say a bra in German? And it came back and it said, stop them from flopping. I'm sorry.
Oh, my.
I know, $299. Okay, so we have product number 1 is the Circle phone. Product number 2 is the AI ping pong player. Or product number 3 is the AI translator. And remember, you only want the real products. So which one is real?
All right. So, as many times as I think I've tried to ball up my phone, I don't think I've ever made it into a circle. Table tennis, that sounds fun. I think it's completely doable, but I'm going to go with number 3, the handheld translator.
Okay. Are you sure?
No, but that's my best educated guess.
All right, that's good. All right, so let's see what the judges say. Jim and Charlotte has selected the AI language translator for the big win of the Kim Komando Show fanny pack.
Yes, I got the fanny pack.
Let's hear it.
Imagine traveling half a world away.
Excuse me, do you live in this neighborhood?
Excuse-moi, tu vis dans ce quartier?
Oui.
It does. It doesn't have great reviews. I will tell you that it doesn't have really good reviews. And I think right now is that if you're because I was in France last month. And also in the Netherlands, although everybody speaks English, but I did end up in a little village in France, and I used Google Translate on my phone. It worked fabulously. It was really cool.
I love Google Translate. Yeah, it works really well.
All right. So how can I help you out?
All right. Being a small business, accounts receivable, accounts payable, that's always a big thing. And lately, we've been getting a lot of requests in accounts receivable, some of them coming through different companies that I don't know, wanting my banking information so they can just do a wire transfer. I'm sure some of these companies are very great and very reputable, but if I'm throwing my banking information out there and everywhere, is that really a good thing, or am I just being overly cautious?
Well, I don't know if there's such a thing today as being overly cautious, right?
Right.
As a small business owner, from one to the other, is that I'm very protective of our bank accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And who do we give this information to, and direct deposit, and so what we have is just one account, one bank account that's used for that purpose, and then we just transfer the money from there into another one, so that there's never a lot of money into that account.
Right.
And it's I know some people say, well, God, that's just not necessary, but when you're dealing with money, I just and then knowing how hard it would be to get it back, that is also something. The other thing that we also do in our finance department is that if somebody's dealing with payment processing and payroll and all that's happening online now, is that they have two computers. And so one computer is just where that's all they do is the banking information. The second computer is everything that they do that's not related to banking. So that would be email, but then getting onto Facebook, going onto Amazon, simply because if they're going to get a phishing scam, they're going to get it on that computer. They're not going to get it on the other computer.
Right. Smart.
And so you have those two paths. Now, the other thing that a lot of people are now wondering too. I just had a call with a friend of mine who owns her own business. She's a career coach, and she was asking me, so now we have all these payment processing. It actually takes time away from me, from my job,
because it makes another step.
It does. So how do you get compensated for that, right?
Right.
And so I was telling her that and it is interesting, is that you can put things on the invoice and just call it like a processing fee. And you're not going to charge 10%, but maybe you charge 2% or 3%, something along those lines. I don't think anybody's going to really question that. Because I think we're all getting used to seeing those type of charges.
Oh, absolutely. You pay a utility bill, you pay a water bill. They always have a convenience fee. It's very small. It's, $2 or $3 of a water bill. But, for a small business, I feel like I'm more of a mom and pop than a small business. But, how do I justify an extra charge on you paying your bill?
Convenience fee, processing fee.
Yeah.
And if somebody, I don't think people are really going to squawk at it. Or you could just raise the price by 5% for whatever they're buying. And that may be even more palatable than people looking at. But it is something that when we, like you mentioned, the convenience fee, and you look at any bill now, there's all these different fees, and you're like, what the heck? Where did all this come from? I mean, help me out here.
Like a cell phone bill. Yeah, right.
Exactly. And so you go through all these bills, but there's also something really interesting too, that if you ever use Square or one of those POS terminals, and there's a tip that's given. And so they have done tremendous research, Jim, that whatever number you put in the middle, that is the number that the person is 99% of the time going to choose. They're not going to go to the lower one. They're not going to go to the higher one. So I have a girlfriend who's a hairdresser, and I was telling her about this. I said, just for giggles, I want you to put like 20, 25%, and 30% tip just to see if anybody says anything. So like 2 weeks later, she called me up. She's like, dang. I'm like, what? She goes, everybody's picking 25% tip. I'm like, okay.
She has you to thank for an increase in sales. Absolutely.
Yeah. So So I would, again, just to kind of wrap up, I would do what we do, different bank account, different computer, and then, sweep those accounts and then charge something extra for a processing fee, a convenience fee, whatever it may be. And gosh, that's so cool. I've never spoken to a florist before. That's amazing. Thank you so much for your call today, Jim.
How'd you like to hear about how I saved $456 in just 5 minutes? I used an app called Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Can you remember all the free trials and all the other random subscriptions that you've signed up for? Of course you don't, and that's what they're banking on. I love that with Rocket Money, I can see all of my subscriptions in one place. Then if I see something I don't want, I just tap to cancel, and I never have to get on the phone with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has helped save its members an average of $720 a year, with over 500 million in canceled subscriptions. Stop wasting money on things that you just don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/Kim. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Let's go ahead and do our digital life hacks tip. And this week is brought to you by Epson. Okay, Commando community, listen up, because I know you guys and gals, you trust me to give you the straight scoop, especially when it comes to tech decisions that impact your everyday life. So we have to talk about the error of the ink cartridge conniption. Yes, it's finally over. Those panicked freakouts that happen when you're printing and your ink cartridges just run out of ink, the worst possible time. The next thing you know, you're losing it. You're shaking your fist saying, oh, darn it. We've all been there. But now there's the Epson EcoTank cartridge-free printer. It uses big ink tanks, comes with just a ridiculous amount of ink, so you can kiss those small, expensive ink cartridges goodbye. With the Epson EcoTank, you just fill and chill. I'm always looking for tech updates to make your life easier, and this one's at the top of my list because there's nothing more inconvenient than outdated printing. So switch to the Epson EcoTank printer. You can pick up your EcoTank at Amazon, Dell, Micro Center, at epson.com/EcoTankKim. That's epson.com/EcoTankKim. All right, we have 5 big mistakes that you might be making when you're buying your electronics on Amazon, and we're going to start with number 1, paying for your extended warranty. Most things are going to break down within the first 90 days, otherwise fail within 5 years. I don't buy the extended warranties. Number 2 is paying full price. You should be looking at today's deals, also using the Camel extension, and also looking at some used tech. Look at the Amazon Renewed store. Just make sure that you have 90 days for refunds. Another mistake, not trading in your old stuff for new stuff. Amazon has this fabulous trade-in program, plus you get paid quickly. We're going to tell you how to do it. And also buying the best of everything. Maybe you don't need the best of everything. We're going to tell you how you can tell the difference. Head over to Commando.com and hit the link that says Kim Show for all those links and tips that you need to know. Still to come, we have some keyboard shortcuts and how to find hidden spy cameras and more of your phone calls here on the Kim Commando Show. Hey, if you like really quick tips, talking about like quick hits for news and for digital life hacks, make sure that you sign up for our Daily Tech Update and follow, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. That's the Daily Tech Update. For example, we have keyboards, keystrokes like this. If you want to go to the bottom of where you were previously reading on a website, just press Shift and the space bar to scroll back up. The text is too small for you to read on a web page. Windows, press Control and the plus key to make it bigger on a Mac. Command and the plus key. That's what I'm talking about. All these quick hits. So make sure you subscribe and follow to the Daily Tech Update wherever you get your podcasts. And back to the phones we go with Michael in Orlando, Florida. Hi there, Michael.
Hello. Hey, really appreciate your show.
Well, thank you.
My daughter has a rare disease mutation in collagen, and it's caused her to have a lot of strokes, and her ribs are
sorry
coming
to hear
off,
that.
and there's just all kinds of issues. But I'm a scientist. I'm trying to make some videos to explain all these issues and a medication that might help. And I've been pulling my hair out over trying to get all the everything to work. And I had a PTZ camera hooked to an ATEM, and it just gave the OBS program fits, and I decided to replace it with a dock cam. Is that going to be okay if it has a 1080 pixel?
Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that'll be fine. And then as far as editing the video, that's always the hard part. It seems like, taking the video is easy and putting it all together so it makes sense is sometimes more difficult. A program that I use is Adobe Premiere Elements. It's super easy to use. It's like $60, but it will allow you to put like text on the page, on the frame if you wanted to. And then you could do wipes and dissolves, and then you can almost do like a presentation and maybe even have some videos of her so they can actually see what happens when she's having an episode. I'm really sorry that this must be really hard on you. Why don't I put together a list of some tools for you and then take a look at it, Michael? And then if there's something that's just not working for you, I want you to reach back out to me. Promise?
Okay.
Promise? You didn't say promise. You didn't say yes. Say I promise. Okay.
I promise.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. Because I don't want to leave you hanging because I know how important a project this must be, and it's going to be a really detailed project. So what I'd like you to do is to tell me more about your configuration and setup, and then I'll post some more links over inside the Commando community. Okay, a simple way to spot most hidden cameras is to look for a lens reflection. What you're going to do, turn off the lights, slowly scan the room with a flashlight, laser pointer, looking for these bright reflections. And you want to look in the vents, any holes or with ceilings and the walls and things like that. You can also buy a bona fide RF detector or use a program like Wireless Network Watcher. We have links to all of these over on the website. And we have another hour that you don't want to miss here on the Westar Multimedia Network. And you can always find me at commando.com. Hey, thanks for listening to Kim Commando today. So reach over and give me a nice 5-star review. Yes, thank you. And thanks for listening.